Welcome back, Storm fans. I am Bryant Cook, and today we're playing a dedicated Toxic Storm deck. A few weeks ago, I uploaded a video that you can find in the card above that hit 25,000 views, and I'll be honest, it's still climbing. Second most viewed video on the channel, and I'm super happy. Thank you to everyone that's watched it and those that are about to watch it. I really do, appreciate everything you do to support the channel. So today, a lot of the comments in that past video, by the way, were, you could play Mutagenic Growth or Spellskite or whatever, but the point of that list was to be flexible and have multiple plans, and I think some people in the comment section kind of lost track of that, and they wanted to see a dedicated Rotpriest deck. So that's what I'm bringing you here. I want to try to bring you what you want to watch. So today we're playing that dedicated version. There's no Empty the Warrens, there's no Underworld Breach, there's no Dragon's Rage Channeler. We're all in on Venerated Rotpriest, this 1 mana, 1/2 Phyrexian Druid creature from Phyrexia, all will be 1, has Toxic 1, which means whenever it deals damage to an opponent, they get a poison counter. And then whenever a creature you control becomes targeted by a spell, not ability, only by a spell, and then they would get an additional poison counter. I should probably finish that sentence, right? So whenever you target it with a spell, so something like Shuko, for example, is an ability that doesn't give your opponent a poison counter. That's not how it works. This is not Cephalid Illusionist. Instead, you have to target over and over again. So how can we abuse that? Well, Ground Rift is a spell with Storm, so it copies itself, which means target creature without flying can't block this turn. You target your Rotpriest over and over again for the number of spells played. Your opponent gains that many poison. That's how the deck works, okay? Well, when you have a Spellskite on the table, you can redirect the Storm counters, or the Storm targets, and then your opponent will gain that many poison counters. I am butchering this intro, by the way. So basically, you need half the number of Storm to win with the Spellskite on the table, and it protects your Venerated Rotpriest, which is pretty sweet. This is a card that you're able to play in a dedicated list. Well, we also have Mutagenic Growth, which protects your Venerated Rotpriest from Lightning Bolt, so that way your opponent, if they go to Lightning Bolt it, you could Mutagenic Growth in response, and, well, they would gain 2 poison. It's pretty sweet. So another card that I'm playing in this dedicated list would be Traverse the Uvenwald, which instead of something like Abundant Harvest can go and search up your Rotpriest or a Spellskite, and in post-board games, it can get something like Foundation Breaker, Magus the Moon, or even Beseiju Who Endures. So you have answers in your board that are now tutorable by this Traverse. Okay, that's pretty sweet. It doesn't get you a spell, so you can't use it to cantrip into Desperate Ritual or Grave Shot or anything like that. But what you can do is go get a Street Wraith. And Street Wraith is pretty interesting here because it turns Traverse into a cantrip, but on top of that, it also enables Traverse to have Delirium. So we've just exchanged Delirium spells within the deck. I think that's actually pretty sweet. But one thing that I noticed when building this list was we were light on sorceries. So you have Ground Rift, and you have Traverse itself. But outside of that, there was no other sorceries in the deck, so I ended up adding in Strike It Rich instead of copies of Pyretic Ritual, so that way our deck could be a little bit more balanced Delirium-wise. One thing I like about having Strike It Rich and Traverse is we're able to go down to 15 lands from 16, and it's not going to be a real loss for us. So I do enjoy that, but also between Street Wraith and Mishra's Bauble, I expect to hit most of my land drops. And the sideboard, Pact of Negation, I believe is really good in these dedicated lists and making sure that you're able to go all in on Rotpriest. I think that's actually going to be quite helpful. I'm less high on Veil of Summer because it requires more mana to set up, so I do think that Pact of Negation is a little bit better. Spellskite as well, just make sure your opponent cannot kill your Rotpriest, that sort of thing. Yeah, so this is my take on a dedicated list. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions, whatever, put those down below. I know that there's also a Convoke pump spell, but in general, I just think it's a little bit worse. If you have multiple Mutagenic Growths, you can cast them all at once. You can also just cast it pretty easily when you want to hit Delirium and not have to, tap your Venerated Rotpriest or whatever. If you want to play the Convoke one, have at it. Like, who cares? Play whatever makes you happy. That's truly what I believe in this game. But I would prefer Mutagenic Growth, so that's what I'm playing here today. All right, enough of my madman ramblings. I'd like to head on over to match number 1. I'm sure that's what you would like as well, so I will see you there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, exclusive members only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, cyborg guides, early access to videos, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, such as theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match. We are on the play. Alright, so we've opened up Rotpriest. We're missing a Storm spell. Triple Traverse is a little bit weird because we don't really have a whole lot of cards to enable Delirium. I think you're actually supposed to mulligan this. Yeah, let's mulligan. Also, while we're in the middle of that, I guess our opponent, whatever, it's fine. So, one thing I forgot to mention in the deck tech is that March has my birthday in it. So, in order to say thank you to all the growth that we've had and a bunch of other stuff, I'm going to allow the $5, the base tier of the YouTube channel, to see all videos early. That's typically a $50 tier perk, but in the month of March, $5, you get to watch all videos early. So, enjoy it. All right, so enough of that. Let's try this out. I am interested in both ground rifts. I think we can get rid of a Desperate Ritual and try this out. Let's cycle Street Wraith first before playing our land. Okay, and then we'll play Scalding Tarn and pass. So that's two types in the graveyard. Opponent with a very quick Misty Rainforest into Aether Vial. Okay, so they're likely on Merfolk. We'll grab a Stomping Ground, draw for turn, and it's a Traverse. That gets us closer to Delirium. Let's cast it. Go grab a Forest, and then we'll play Stomping Ground, pass the turn. I believe we have a win on our turn, but I've been wrong before in my life. Hallowed Fountain. I think that actually shuts off... That's brutal. I think that shuts us down. We do have Grape Shot in our deck, but that's expensive. This would be my luck. Jeez Louise. I need to look up Venerated Rotpriest. It says target opponent gets a poison counter, so it does target. Our wind is stopped by Unsettled Mariner. What a format. Wow. I guess we're just waiting to draw into Grape Shot to kill this Mariner. Let's cast Manamorphose, I suppose. Red. We'll pass. I mean, I think I've already lost this game and we're going to need to go to the post board. But I think I want to find out what our opponent's on, because this could be Spirits. It could be Merfolk. I'm not really quite sure yet, and I want that information. It is, in fact, Merfolk splashing white for an Unsettled Mariner, which is going to win them this game. Wild. Okay. We'll concede. Switch this over to card view. We're definitely interested in Veil of Summer because that stops the Unsettled Mariner. I think we probably want Lightning Bolt as well. Mutagenic Growth is not a card we're really interested in for this matchup. We're at 61. I'm sort of interested in the Pact of Negations. I'm just trying to figure out what we would possibly board out here. I think you could probably shave a Spellskite, because Merfolk traditionally isn't a matchup with a lot of removal. Maybe board out the Desperate Rituals and just accept that you need to play a little bit slower. I'm going to try this. Okay, we'll keep. Fetch. Ouch. Play Traverse. Grab the Mountain, and we'll pass. Cavern of Souls. And if I'm the opponent, I am definitely thinking about mulliganing to the card that just caused my opponent to scoop, so I wouldn't be surprised if they have Unsettled Mariner again. We'll pass the turn. Flooded Strand. Tide Shaper. So they're going to convert my Stomping Ground. That's kind of annoying. So basically, it's only a land that pays for Spellskite now. Let's bobble, I guess? Sure. Cycle the Street Wraith. Wild Cantor, my good friend. Okay, with that land being an island, we're forced to pass the turn here. It is not a stomping ground. We draw Ground Rift number 3, which is not ideal. Another Tide Shaper. What a jerk. You cannot spell skite that if you're wondering. Lord of Atlantis. Okay. Manamorphose. Does that do anything here? I think it wins as long as I draw into a mana source that I can use. Force a negation. We'll pact it. Storm is 3. I think that wins with the Ground Rift just with Rotpriest. Manamorphose. They have 2 in hand. And they had double force. Wow. Well, we lose the game to our own pact and negation trigger. That's match number 1. A little disappointing, but what a nightmare. Holy moly. Match 2 coming up. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. Match number 2, our opponent has revealed a Gigantha, and we have a hand with Traverse in it. We have instant sorcery land. So Traverse can be our Venerated Rotpriest later, but we also need a Storm spell. I'm going to keep, but I'm not loving it. Yours is mine. Okay, so you're on Eldrazi-tron. That gives us our 4th type. No matter what, I'm going to play Strike It Rich. So I think I'm just going to fetch anyway. We can bobble them in their upkeep. Target them. So that's 3 types. Ichor Wellspring. Maybe it's not Eldrazi-tron? They cycle the Chromatic Star. I imagine that this is an Ancient Stirrings. Oh, okay. It's just Ichor Wellspring. Sure. So we'll draw off our... Whoops. I guess that's fine. And there's a Rotpriest. Still no Storm spell yet. Play the bobble. Target ourselves. We'll fetch. Grab a forest and we'll play Spellskite. Bobble. Summoner's Pact. I wonder... No, that can't win, right? Mutagenic Growth plus 2 Rotpriest is still 4 poison. Another mine. Into Chromatic Star. Sure. Draw for turn. So Summoner's Pact does give us instant for Traverse. It's just that we don't have a Storm spell yet. I think we just flashback Strike It Rich. Pass the turn. Ancient Stirrings. They have found the power plant, so Tron is online. Mystic Forge. Okay. Grinding Station. So they can sacrifice the Wellspring here. Are we dead? They didn't sacrifice the Wellspring. They're charting themselves. My window is closing. I believe that they're going to have to pass the turn here. I don't think that they can kill me with 1 mana floating. But we're going to have to try to traverse for a Street Wraith, I believe. Because I can't afford to wait any longer. So we'll Summoner's Pact. Go get a Rotpriest. We have to Strike It Rich before we traverse. And then we can traverse for a Street Wraith. Play Rotpriest. Play Rotpriest. Moment of Truth. Cycle Street Wraith. That gets us another Street Wraith. So we'll go do that. 6 hits in 39 cards. Come on, baby. That doesn't do it. We have to pass the turn. We can give our opponent 4 poison. With the Summoner's Pact, we could have given them 6 poison. But it's just not enough. They just drew and passed the turn. Am I missing something? Did they just think I would die to Summoner's Pact? I will pay. Draw. We still didn't hit. Wow! Over 33% of the way through our deck. So I can hit them for 2 here. And then I can Summoner's Pact for another Rotpriest. Mutagenic growth, switch targets. They would take 6 poison. I guess I don't need to sacrifice that. What am I doing? We'll cast Summoner's Pact. Go get another Rotpriest. Play the Rotpriest. And pass the turn. They have the Anvil. Not looking good for the home team here. Okay. Mirror Retriever. So this gets back another Anvil at the moment. Or like an Ichor Wellspring. So I faced a deck similar to this before. And it was basically just Cart Clan Ironworks without the Ironworks. And I imagine that's what we're seeing here as well. I'm going to go ahead and hit F6 here. Okay, and they're going to deck me. Alright, we've lost. That was disappointing. Let's bring in Beseiju. We probably want this Foundation Breaker. It doesn't seem like a matchup where Spellskite's particularly good outside of the Ground Rift stuff, so we'll get rid of that. And then we could probably board out a land, considering we're boarding in 2 lands, so we can board out a spare fetch. Oh, Magus of the Moon seems like a no-brainer. So let's bring that in as well. Mutagenic growth doesn't seem great in this matchup. I feel like Spellskite's probably better than Mutagenic growth. What if I just board out all the growths and we keep the spare lands? I like this. Submit. Yes, I'd like to be on the play. I know that I said that weirdly, but whatever. Another situation where we don't have a storm spell, but the rest of the hand functions. I mean, I'm going to keep it. Foothills. Target ourselves. Play a Rotpriest. Pass. Draw off the bauble. We see our first storm spell. Sweet. Map. Alright, so let's go get a land, and I believe we can try for a win next turn. Hiya. Interesting. They paused there like they were thinking about playing a spell. Go to combat. Swing. Vesper Ritual. Manamorphose. We're going to do green. Play a bauble. Put Summoner's Pact. Go get a Venerated Rotpriest. We'll Summoner's Pact again. Go get another Venerated Rotpriest. Play a Rotpriest. Play a Rotpriest. And let's get Rifty. So much poison. Okay. That is how we do. Alright, starting to feel a little bit better. Let's try to win another game. That would be sweet. I would like to not start this league off like 0-2. That'd be great. Don't think we're allowed to keep this. Mulligan. We will keep this. I think we're supposed to get rid of the Grape Shot. Hers is mine into map. We're just going to play Rotpriest on the first turn. Pass. Hers is Tower. Maybe I should have gotten the Forest there in case I draw into the Magus. I'm probably not going to tutor for Magus, but let's cycle another land. So now we're just flooding. Swing. They pick up a power plant. I think I'm supposed to Beseiju them in their upkeep. Try to keep them off Tron. And they do have a basic. I wasn't sure if a deck like this would actually have a basic in there, but I guess they did float green in game 1. They find Chromatic Star. So they did not have the tower. They cycled the star. And now they're passing. That doesn't do it, unfortunately. Fetch. Get in for 1 poison, so they go up to 8. So I can do Traverse, Rift for 2, Rift for 3, give them 5. That's just not enough. We have to pass. Ichor Wellspring. No tower. Mirror Retriever. Draw for turn. I believe that does it. So we might as well attack. It's kind of free here. They decide to block, so now they can get back a Chromatic Star or a map. Play Traverse. Wild Cantor. Oh no, I'm actually 1 poison short. Think I'm still going to do it. I am still 1 poison short. I hope my math is off, but I'm pretty sure this puts them to 9. Yeah, it does. Awkward. So I guess the one silver lining is if they don't kill me and they don't have a blocker, they're dead. We have 2 Ground Rift, 2 Grape Shot that would win the game. They use the map. They're going to go find Tower here. So now they have 5 available mana. Vicar Wellspring. Come on, no blocker. No blocker. Concede? Grinding Station. Okay. Venerated Rotpriest aggro. We got our first win. Awesome. All right, so going in the red zone actually paid off. The few times that we did, we're now 1-1, 3 matches left. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Match 3, we're on the play. Okay, so we're lacking a storm spell again. I think that 6 might be too few. That has been the biggest hang up with this list so far. I was studying some other lists before I started recording this, and a lot of people went down to 6, and I'm just thinking that it's probably too few at this point because we're 3 matches in and I can't seem to ever draw it, but we'll keep. And I'll stop complaining. Play a Venerated Rotpriest. Pass the turn. Rafine's Tower. Draw. There we go. So if I could cycle into a land, we have a win. Draw. Turn 2? Can we do it? Not quite. It does get us the other basic forest. Swing. We'll pass. Heartless Summoning, okay. Not really sure what you're up to over there. We drew the Wild Cantor, which is what I was going to Summoner's Pack for. Let's start by going into the red zone. Swing. So we can Wild Cantor into Desperate Ritual, but we don't have enough mana to play another Venerated Rotpriest because it requires... Okay, so I have to play the Wild Cantor and pass the turn. And then next turn I'd have a win. Actually, do I just have enough Storm? So they have 2 poison. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're short 1 poison. Because I can't cast any of the Rotpriests off these Summoners packs. We just have to pass. Arid Mesa. Hellish Norn. Okay. Turn 3 Hellish Norn's pretty sweet. Let's sacrifice this for red. Desperate Ritual. And it's important here to start on Desperate Ritual, because if you start on Summoner's Pact and then your opponent counters Desperate Ritual, you flat out lose the game. So start on the basic things and then you can always make adjustments later. We're going to Solitude. That's fine. I actually had a feeling that they had Solitude when we attacked that first combat step, because they paused for a really long time on the attack. Does my ritual finally resolve? Thanks. Summoner's Pact. Get a Rotpriest. Summoner's Pact. Let's get a Rotpriest. Are we short? We might be short. I don't know. 6, 7... And then Ground Rift is 8. So if they have another Solitude, we lose. Ground Rift. Same targets. Alright, we've stolen game number 1. I think we're definitely interested in these Pact Negations, as well as Spellskite. Magus seems pretty good here. I don't think this is a mutagenic growth matchup, so we can board those out. Kind of interested in shaving on street rates and just playing a slower game, which means that the traverses are more likely to only get land. Maybe shave 1 Striker Rich. Submit. No, I will not keep this. This hand is very good. Yes, I will keep. Thank you. I think it has to be the Morphos. Arid Mesa pass. That was a good draw. Let's get rich. If we could draw another spell we can cast easily. I think we could go for a turn 2. We'd lose to a counter spell, but I think we beat most other things. White, white. We're going to brought back. Sure. Come on, deck, be good to me here. That, I think, does it. Okay, so let's just talk through this. We start on Desperate Ritual, we play Spellskite. Floating 1 red. Yeah, this works. I think we're actually supposed to strike a rich before the Spellskite. Okay. Green. Play the Venerated Rotpriest. And now we will Ground Rift. Ah, they had double Solitude. That's a bummer. Okay. So we're going to pay 2 life and change the target of this. I can't change the target of this because it's already targeting the Spellskite. So I could also... This is already targeting Spellskite as well. So I can't just pay 2 life and redirect this forever. So we get to give our opponent some poison, but they're not actually dead here. They have 4 cards remaining. Okay, I'm going to pick it up. Our opponents are very far ahead. We've got nothing going on. Yeah, look at these draws. Awful. I guess the Magus in 3 turns could have been okay, but that's 3 turns for our opponent as well. Let's submit. Yes. I'm going to keep this. I know it doesn't seem great, but I think mulliganing in this matchup is kind of a trap. It seems like a matchup where we want to be high on resources in order to win. And I also believe that an avenue we can try to take to win this matchup is Spellskite with Magus of the Moon and then protect the Magus. So with Traverse, we in theory have access to the Magus. We just need to get there. Draw for turn. Summoner's Pact. Stomping Ground, yes. And then we will play Spellskite. Pass the turn. They play an Arid Mesa and fetch. Godless Shrine. Hallowed Fountain. What are you doing? Heartless Summoning, okay. Draw for turn. It's another Summoner's Pact. It's awkward. Pass the turn. Jetmir's Garden, so now they have all 5 types. I had a feeling last turn they were trying to play Leyline Binding and couldn't, and now they're able to. We're going to fetch the Forest here in case I do gain access to the Magus. Draw. So in theory I could try to win next turn, but we're kind of fragile. Would love to draw another Spellskite or Pact of Negation. Wall of Omens. Myriad the Sky Ruin. Okay. They have 5 in hand. Well, we drew the Pact. Desperate Ritual. Desperate Ritual. Summoner's Pact. Grab Rotpriest. We'll play another Summoner's Pact. Grab another Rotpriest. Okay. We need our opponent to only have 1 way to interact here. Ground Rift. They have 5 cards in hand. Not loving my odds. Solitude, pitch Solitude. Pact. We win! Yes! We did it! Alright, we're 2-1. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. We're back for the 4th match on the draw. We've opened up double Storm Spell. I will keep. Arid Mesa. With a hand like this, we're really just looking to draw one of our rituals. We're facing Burn. That's kind of disappointing. Alright. Draw. Mutagenic Growth. We'll Traverse, go get another land. Sunbaked Canyon. Lava Spike. Okay. Skewer the Critics. I have a feeling I'm going to be dead very quickly here. Draw. Unfortunately, I don't think we can get a win here. So even if I fetch for a red source, play Ground Rift, I can't get the storm count high enough. But what we can do is play out the Rotpriest as a blocker and hope that that gets us enough time so we can win on our next turn. We already have everything we need to win in hand, so we don't even need this Rotpriest. This puts us to 7. So I'm dead if I don't block. Come on, Boros Charm me. So if I pump my Rotpriest here, they take 1 poison. My concern is that I don't have enough Storm to win next turn. But I actually do, so I think it's free here to cast the Mutagenic Growth. Okay. This is a Boros Charm? And it is. Okay, I believe we have won. Although I've heard something about like not counting your eggs until they hatch or something, but who lives by those rules? Alright, Summoner's Pack number 1, number 2, number 3. Who likes burn? Come on. And then we'll play the Wild Cantor for good measure, even though we don't need to. Sacrifice it for a red. Ground Rift. You're dead. Sweet. That is how we do. So we definitely want Lightning Bolt versus Burn. I like Spellskite as a giant wall in the matchup that can literally block their creatures while redirecting damage. That's pretty good. Boseiju does answer Eidolon. And Pact isn't the worst. So there's a lot of cards we're interested in here, but that's 71 cards at the moment. Street Wraith can get out of here. I don't think that's really what we want to be doing. So we're boarding out Street Wraith, and now the Traverses just became not very reliable, so we can probably take those out. It's going to mess with our lands a little bit, but we are boarding up on land anyway. And now we're at 63. I wonder if I'm allowed to board out Baubles if I'm boarding out the Traverses. That leaves me at 59, and I could even bring in the Foundation Breaker for Eidolon. I don't hate it. Let's try it out. So no Storm Spell, no creature. Mulligan. So we have access to the creatures here, but no Storm Spell. I think we'll try get rid of the Foundation Breaker. Alternatively, I could keep the Foundation Breaker and get rid of the Ritual. Let's try that, because that way I have an answer to Eidolon already. Sunbait Canyon into the Goblin Guide. Mutagenic Growth. Not super helpful. I'm going to pass and not play the Wild Cantor. So there's 2 reasons. One, I can get a pseudo scry off this Goblin Guide. And the second reason is I can go get a Stomping Ground without taking any additional damage. We pick up a Scalding Tarn. They fetch with Arid Mesa. I have to imagine that this is an Eidolon or the Great Revel. Surprise, surprise. Grab our Stomping Ground. Draw for turn. Spellskite. It's a good one. But we're going to have to wait on it. Because first we're going to get rid of this Eidolon or the Great Revel. Get out of here. Yes, I'd like to use the ability. Pass the turn. Land 3, they have 4 in hand. We're at 15 life. Make that 12 life. They swing. We reveal a Strike It Rich. We'll go to 9. Play the Strike It Rich. So oddly enough, Strike It Rich makes blue mana, which is relevant for the Spellskite. 3 cards in their hand. They draw off the Canyon. That's what I'd like to see. Path to Exile. That is not what I want to see. Okay. We do have 1 more basic in the deck. Come on, give me a Storm Spell. Venerated Rotpriest. They're going to pass. Let's play a Wild Cantor as a blocker here. And then we'll pass the turn. Pretty close to death. Searing Blaze. Mutagenic Growth. I go to 4, so I'm dead to a Boros Charm. They're going to combat. They swing with the Goblin Guide. Boseiju Who Endures. Move to blocks. You have 3 cards in hand. How difficult can it be to deal 4 damage? Yeah. I'm at 3. That's the magic number. Bummer. Okay. Of course. Alright, game 3. My biggest complaint with this list so far is that I tried to play a bunch of Mutagenic Growths to make people happy, And we're short on storm spells. Like, we really need another grape shot in this deck list. Alright, enough complaining. I'll resubmit. No. I don't think I'm supposed to go to 5, but I don't think that this hand is very good. They've kept 7. We'll bottom an Arid Mesa. Stomping Ground pass. Inspiring Vantage. Suspends Riftbolt. Pact Negation is weird, but okay enough. We're at 17. That's unfortunate. Yep. We don't have an answer to it either. Not at the moment. I'll take 2 and play Spellskite. Yep. So the attack here puts me to 12. Not loving my chances. Foundation Breaker? We have to pass. Now we go to 8. 3. I mean, we're dead already. We're not going to win this. You got it. Okay. 2 and 2. Womp womp. Want early access to articles at theepicstorm.com? Become a member of our Patreon to get articles 7 days early, on top of other sweet benefits, and help us pay our website team. You can sign up at patreon.com/theepicstorm. The 5th and final round, we're on the play. Sure, this seems reasonable. Let's start off with the bobble. We'll target ourselves. Another Street Wraith. Pass to the opponent. And we'll fetch. I'm not really interested in drawing another Street Wraith and just losing 2 life. Another land. Okay. Classic story, as old as time. We are looking to draw into a storm spell. Oh no, we're facing Izzet. Come on. No one likes you. No one likes you, Izzet players. You are so boring. And now they bobble us. Okay. So they'll draw, we draw, traverse, cycle Street Wraith. We'll cast Strike It Rich, so that gives us Delirium. Play the forest, and now we can cast Traverse. Go grab a Rotpriest, pass. Okay, Scalding Tarn. Manamorphose. Are you Blitz? This might be Izzet Blitz and not Murktide. Another Channeler. They bolt me going to the face. This is definitely Izzet Blitz. They surveil away an Underworld Breach. They have 4 in hand. They swing, I go to 11. Come on, Storm Spell. Let's see it. Draw. Gets a Street Wraith. I'm dead to another Bolt effect if I cycle this turn. I think we just have to. We'll go to 9. Damn. Play a tap land. Pass. So there's 45 cards left in our deck. We've seen 25% of our deck. I feel a little like defeated here that I studied a lot of lists before I recorded today. A lot. And every list had 6 storm spells, but it just seems like it's not enough to me. I was like, maybe I'm being ridiculous with 3 Grape Shot, and I don't know. I should just trust in my gut. Sacred Foundry. They play a Bobble. Swing. And there's Lethal. Okay, so we'll take a draw. Wouldn't have been it anyway. We're facing Izzet Blitz. So I think the Spellskites end up looking pretty good here. I think the Bolts end up looking decent. Get rid of the Street Wraiths. Brings us down to 61. Maybe board out 1 Traverse. We'll try that. Traverse is not going to be reliable outside of getting lands now, but maybe that's fine. On the play. Jeez. We'll mulligan. Keep, and we'll get rid of Mutagenic Growth. Mishra's Bobble. Target ourselves. We do not need a Desperate Ritual, so I'm just going to fetch. Pass the turn. Land 3. Monastery Swiftspear into Mishra's Bobble. Ouch. We'll go to 17. They draw. And then we draw. Another Spellskite. Grab the basic. One Spellskite. No blocks. Right now, I'm making my opponent have a decision on whether or not they want to kill Spellskite or not. And interestingly enough, they just passed with 2 open mana. I think we want to just play another Spellskite here. Pass the turn. Expressive Iteration. Channeler, they have 6 cards. Mishra's Bauble. Prevail Trigger. They get rid of another copy of Channeler. They attack, we'll block. Okay. Mutagenic Growth. So now their Swiftspear becomes a 6 power. So even if I Mutagenic Growth here. Actually, I can change the target to my Spellskite. Yeah. Alright, we're at 13. Now going down to 12. Draw for turn. Is that a Ground Rift? That's so crazy. Alright, so we have land artifact in the graveyard. Let's cycle the Morpho, see if we can draw into something good. That gives us instant. I can burn a Ground Rift here. And then search up my creature. I mean, this feels bad, but I think it's a fine play. Traverse. Go get the Rotpriest. And we'll pass. Wait, can I win here? I can change the target 5 times? 4 times. Because I have to pay life for Mutagenic Growth. No, that doesn't work. Alright, pass. Another Dragon's Rage Channeler. Uh-oh. If they have an Underworld Breach, this could be very bad news. Blue-red. Aggressive Iteration. Okay, they have 5 cards in hand. Should I block the Swiftspear? I think the answer is yes. They burst lightning me. So I will go to 10. And then 7 with this. I can Mutagenic Growth my Spellskite to keep it alive. But I don't think that actually helps me. So next turn, if I start on just these 2, I can move these 3 times. But I don't think that does anything, so I'm just going to allow my Spellskite to die. Best draw is like a Summoner's Pact. Draw, and it's a land. Rotpriest. Target my Venerated Rotpriest. We'll save targets. Auto yield. We'll go to 5. I think I'm just short. Ground Rift. Yeah, I don't have enough life. Go to 1. Yeah. Okay, so we've lost Izzet Blitz. Needed to draw another spell that turn, I think, instead of the land. Striker Ridge would have been a good draw, actually, because we could have used that as not only Storm, but also free blue mana for the Spellskite. Okay, so we went 2 and 3. Not exactly a great record. There's a lot of flaws with this list, I think, and one of the big things is what I actually talked about in the deck tech. You have to always win with Rotpriest. The list that I played previously, I mean, this isn't the exact list. This is sort of what I've been working on in the meantime. But when you look at this list, you have Dragon's Rage Channeler plus Underworld Breach. And the other list I've been playing recently, I've had Empty the Warrens in the sideboard. I've also have my own Gruul Breach list that I've been working on still. I think that this is probably the better deck in my opinion. But you have Aria. I'm kind of low on Empty in general in Modern right now, but Aria has just been overperforming nonstop. And I think that these dedicated lists are just really fragile. That's what I've found. Regardless of if you agree with me or not, though, I would play 3 Grape Shot. I think that this deck list needs a 3rd copy of it. And what you cut, I think it's probably a Mutagenic Growth. I was really unimpressed by this card throughout most of the league. It's cute because, yeah, you can protect your Rotpriest for free or whatever, but I don't know. It was just a little lackluster in my experience. Let me know what you think. I would greatly appreciate that. Once again, if you're interested, you can sign up to be a member of this channel. You can do that with the join button down below, and you will get access to all videos early for the entire month of March. So enjoy that. Have a great day. Keep storming. All that good jazz. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.